Hello, and this is Mr. I, and welcome to the Pillars of History Geography. And so today's objectives of the screencast, or what we're going to learn about, are define and explain geography, identify bodies of waters and landforms, and how they impact people. So we got to figure out the geography definition. So what is geography? Geography is the study of the Earth's surface. And so there are two categories. There are bodies of water and landforms. And before I go into geography, how does geography affect people? Well, there are three categories. There are food and water or resources, because every human needs food and water to live, and that's important. Moving or transportation, how certain landforms or bodies of water can impact us and what we need to get to our destination. And finally, in terms of fighting, in terms of battles and war. And this is really important too, because sometimes geography helps people or hurts people in fighting. So again, the three categories are food and water, moving, and fighting. And so let's take a look at bodies of water. And so what is this body of water? Well, if you guessed lake, you are right. A lake is a large body of water surrounded by land. And so in terms of food and water, well, you can fish in a lake. That's great. And also there's fresh, clean drinking water for settlers. For moving, it's a little bit more difficult because you need a boat to get across. And so that's why it's important for fighting aspects too, because if invaders or bad people wanted to come to your town or city and you have a lake in front of it, it's pretty hard to get across the lake just by swimming across. Of course, we have to think about other animals too that could eat you if you tried to swim. So again, a lake provides a pretty good barrier to invaders or bad people. What is this body of water? Well, if you guessed a river, you're right. A river is a flowing, moving stream of water. And so much like the ocean, it provides fishing and water, fresh water for travelers to drink. In terms of moving, if you were to cross the river, it's a little hard, right? Because the river is going to be moving, and so it's going to stop you. But if you have a boat, then you should be fine to go down the river or up the river. And so in terms of fighting, again, it provides another barrier for invaders or bad people to try to get across. So again, this is why towns were built close to rivers, because of the food and water, transportation or moving, and for protection from fighting. Okay, what is this body of water? This is a little bit more difficult. This is what we call a swamp. And a swamp is shallow water with trees. And as you can see on the screen there, look at that water. Isn't it all green and disgusting? Oh. And so, really, in terms of water, I don't think you want to drink this water. But in terms of food, yeah, there could be some fish in here that you might want to swim out. Moving can be very tough in a swamp. So you definitely would need a boat. I would definitely not want to walk in a swamp, considering there could be snakes and other types of animals there. And in terms of fighting, it's very difficult to fight in a swamp. So many people, you'll find out throughout history, use swamp to their advantage. All right, next is a marsh. And this is shallow water with grass or reeds. And so in terms of food and water, I don't think necessarily want to drink the water in a marsh, but in food, yeah, it's fine. Because, yes, you get fish and other animals in there to eat, but also you can make rice in marsh. Moving can be quite difficult in marshes, so again, you probably would need a boat. And for fighting purposes, marsh does provide a barrier for invaders or bad people. So, again, marshes are kind of a unique feature. And what is this body of water? Well, if you guessed the ocean, you're right. An ocean is a huge body of salt water. And so for food, yeah, you can fish in an ocean, of course. But you don't want to drink the water. Because we can't, as humans, we can't drink salt water. Moving, you would definitely need a boat to get across an ocean. And fighting, yeah, it's very difficult to fight on water. And so, again, oceans play a huge role in, protecting countries and people today as it did thousands of years ago. So, again, oceans are very, very important. Okay, bodies of water review. And we have a lake, a river, a swamp, a marsh, an ocean,